every cowboy movie starring Kevin Costner. Ranked. Kevin Costner is an actor with a diverse and decorated filmography. A Hollywood leading man, he's captivated audiences with his commanding screen presence and his ability to dissolve into a wide range of characters for decades now. His artistic ambitions and knack for choosing projects are what makes him so successful. But as far as westerns go, Costner's foray into the genre is relatively limited in number. Fans probably know him best for his Academy Award-winning turn in Dances with Wolves, which was not only the actor's first directorial effort, but also one of his most commercially successful movies of all time. Before and since, Costner proved that he's a compelling performer and has enough range to navigate the morally complex world of the American West. Costner left an indelible mark on the Western genre and has continued to do so recently in the monumentally popular drama series Yellowstone. Whether he's playing a rugged rancher or a world-weary lawman, he brings a certain authenticity to the role, a quiet strength, and an unmatched charm, all of which are hallmarks of the genre's greatest characters and stories. This list takes a quick look at all 7 unforgettable Western movies starring Kevin Costner. A post-apocalyptic adventure drama directed by Kevin Costner himself, his second directorial effort, The Postman familiarizes us with the once mighty United States now crumbled into a wasteland after a catastrophic event impacted human civilization and technology. Costner plays a nameless drifter who stumbles upon a postman's uniform and mailbag and decides to pose as a postman, delivering letters to scattered communities and inspiring hope for a restored nation. Costner is tasked with reviving hope in despair. Panned by critics upon its initial release, The Postman ended up getting an enormously positive response from audiences who were quick to praise the ambitious storytelling and Costner's heartfelt performance in the lead role. The movie deftly combines the gritty realism of the neo-Western genre with the speculative wonder of science fiction and delivers a story about staying hopeful and resilient in the face of overwhelming odds. Costner's character, particularly, is responsible for reviving America and, as the beating heart of this epic movie, he delivers a commanding and unforgettable performance. Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1, 2024. An actual saga that went into development back in 1988, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1 is simply the first of the 4 parts of a sweeping epic directed by and starring Kevin Costner. Set in the mid-19th century, it follows the lives of settlers and indigenous people in the American West during the Civil War and how their lives were impacted and altered after the war. He plays Hayes Ellison, a former soldier who acts as a mediator between settlers and Native Americans, all while navigating the challenges of frontier life. Westerns have long defined and represented the spirit of the frontier, and Costner's project is no different. Directed with a meticulous eye for historical detail and a profound understanding of what makes the genre so thematically rich, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1 clocks in at exactly 3 hours and 1 minute. But because the film is the first part of 4 planned westerns, it feels like one long introductory chapter that brings in dozens of characters and locations and never settles on them for long enough for the audiences to connect with them. Regardless, the gripping story and the film's depiction of the quest for peace in a turbulent time has audiences looking forward to the next movie, which is expected to premiere sometime in 2025. The name Wyatt Earp has always been synonymous with the lawless world of the American West, and under a cinematic and visionary direction by Lawrence Kasdan, Wyatt Earp becomes a sprawling biographical epic that chronicles the life of the legendary lawman. From his childhood as an Iowa farm boy to his role in the gunfight at the OK Corral and beyond, the Western delivers a profound and nuanced look at his life and how the times changed around him. It also plunges into Earp's complicated relationship with his family and his brothers, Morgan and Virgil, as well as his bond with Doc Holliday. Costner breathes new life into a legendary icon. Filled with personal drama, political intrigue, and relentless struggle, Wyatt Earp is one of the 2 grand westerns about Wyatt Earp to come out around the same time, with the other being 1993's Tombstone, which achieved relatively greater acclaim. Still, this 1994 epic is a character-driven movie that stands out because of its scope and historical accuracy. Kevin Costner's portrayal of the title character is truly mesmerizing as it captures his determination and his moral complexity. He is accompanied by Dennis Quaid as Doc Holliday, Gene Hackman, David Andrews, Mark Harmon, Michael Madsen, and more in equally significant roles. The only cowboy movie in Kevin Costner's filmography that's not directed by him or Lawrence Kasdan, Let Him Go, is a more recent return to the genre. A gripping thriller, it is set in the unforgiving Badlands of Montana in the 1960s, and it tells the story of a retired sheriff named George Blackledge, Kevin Costner, and his wife Margaret, Diane Lane, as they embark on a dangerous journey to rescue their grandson from the clutches of a ruthless family living in isolation in the Dakota wilderness. Apparently, after their son dies, their daughter-in-law marries into the Weeboy family, who are known to be violent. And when the Blackledges hear of it, they try to protect their own. Let Him Go is extremely underrated for a Western with a palpable sense of emotional urgency. Its harrowing story, paired with the depiction of a treacherous land and the moral ambiguity of the characters, make the movie intense and worth watching. As an added bonus, the movie is also timed at a little less than 2 hours, which is unusual for Kevin Costner Westerns. Speaking of Costner, he delivers an understated performance as George, a man driven by duty, love, and the need to make sure his family's future is secure. The film's direction by Thomas Bazooka captures the beauty of Montana and builds an effective pace throughout. It's a shame that Let Him Go underperformed at the box office, considering how it's a masterclass in slow-burn tension from start to finish. Arriving at a time when the popularity of the Western genre was fading away, Lawrence Kasdan's Silverado took audiences back in time to the dusty, sun-soaked town of Silverado to tell the story of 4 outlaws who emerged as unlikely heroes. Rugged and weary, Emmett, Peyton, Mal, and Jake find themselves drawn together as they arrive in the small town. There, they confront the corruption and injustices that have taken root for so long and fight against a lawless sheriff and a ruthless rancher. A rousing celebration of the Western archetype. Besides being an action-driven, rip-roaring homage to the classic Western formula, Silverado weaves multiple storylines and dives deep into each character's backstories and motivations to make sure the audiences understand their morality and camaraderie. Directed with a keen eye for storytelling and visuals and traditions, the movie infuses a modern sensibility to its gunslinging story and makes the most of its star-studded ensemble cast, which includes Kevin Kline, Scott Glenn, Danny Glover, and Kevin Costner. Costner plays Jake, the wild and unstoppable gunslinger, providing energy and charm to the group. Overall, the movie celebrates the talents of a young and then relatively unknown Kevin Costner in the best way possible. The second strongest movie in Kevin Costner's catalog of Westerns, Open Range follows 2 seasoned free-grazing cattlemen, Boss Spearman and Charlie Waite, played by Robert Duvall and Costner, respectively, as they drive their herd across the American West. They come across a town ruled by a corrupt lawman and his henchmen and are caught in a deadly conflict that forces them to confront their past actions and start a fight for justice. Open Range explores themes of friendship, loyalty, and the struggle for survival faced by those living on the frontier in an assured and all-knowing tone. Directed by Kevin Costner, it is a beautiful and poignant Western that stirs several emotions with its callbacks to Hollywood's golden age of Westerns. The movie also features a brilliantly executed gunfight during the climax, which marks the genre's most iconic moment. As far as the performances go, Costner's portrayal of Waite is powerful. He teams up with the legendary Duvall, who anchors the movie's dramatic core and shares a palpable chemistry with his co-star. Dances with Wolves 1990. Dances with Wolves was Kevin Costner's directorial debut, and the movie was a roaring success critically and commercially. It tells the story of Lieutenant John Dunbar, a Union Army officer who gets wounded in battle and gets stationed to a remote outpost on the American frontier. As he awaits reinforcements, Dunbar tries to blend in and befriends a group of Lakota Sioux, eventually becoming a part of their community. He then embarks on a journey of self-discovery that forever changes his perception of the world around him. A singular cinematic masterpiece. Less about the grittiness, violence, and moral ambiguity of the Old West, and more about the journey of a soldier to tribe member, Dances with Wolves is nothing short of a masterpiece. The movie not only cemented Costner's status as a filmmaker but also redefined the future of Westerns with its profound and transformative narrative. The movie, driven by respect for the indigenous people and their cultures, subverts traditional narratives and presents them as complex and fully realized human beings who simply want to preserve their way of life amidst rapid change. Costner's role as the savior is moving, the film's direction is stunning, and the cinematography is soulful. Enough to win 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Kevin Costner.